Making your own caramel sauce is easier than you think. It's so much tastier than anything you can buy in a shop. With just a few simple ingredients, you can create a smooth and velvety caramel that's perfect for drizzling over ice cream, dipping apples, or adding to your favorite desserts. Let's get started. Here's what you'll need to make about 1 cup of caramel sauce. Caramel is a versatile and delicious addition to many desserts, and making it at home can be a rewarding experience. The ingredients are simple, but the process requires attention and care. Let's go through each ingredient and understand its role in creating the perfect caramel sauce. 1 cup or 200 grams of granulated white sugar. This is the primary ingredient in caramel. When heated, the sugar melts and undergoes a series of chemical reactions known as caramelization. This process gives caramel its characteristic flavor and color. It's important to use granulated white sugar because it melts evenly and produces a smooth caramel. Avoid using brown sugar or powdered sugar, as they can affect the texture and taste of the final product. Half a cup, or 120 milliliters, of heavy whipping cream. This ingredient is crucial for achieving a rich and creamy caramel sauce. The cream not only adds a luxurious texture, but also helps to balance the sweetness of the sugar. You can use double cream if you prefer an even richer sauce. When adding the cream to the hot caramel, be cautious as it can cause the mixture to bubble up vigorously. It's best to warm the cream slightly before adding it to the caramel to minimize the reaction. 1/3 cup, or 75 grams, of salted butter cut into pieces. Butter adds a wonderful richness and depth of flavor to the caramel. The salt in the butter enhances the overall taste, making the caramel more complex and satisfying. If you prefer, you can use unsalted butter and add a pinch of salt separately. Cutting the butter into small pieces helps it to melt quickly and incorporate smoothly into the caramel. And 4 tablespoons or 60 milliliters of water. Water is added at the beginning of the caramel making process to help the sugar melt evenly. It prevents the sugar from burning and allows for a more controlled caramelization. As the water evaporates, the sugar will start to caramelize and turn a beautiful amber color. Be patient and avoid stirring the mixture too much, as this can cause the sugar to crystallize. Instead, gently swirl the pan to ensure even cooking. Optional but highly recommended is a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Vanilla adds a lovely aroma and enhances the flavor of the caramel. Add it at the end of the cooking process, once the caramel has reached the desired consistency. Be sure to use pure vanilla extract for the best results. If you want to experiment, you can also try adding other flavorings, such as a splash of bourbon, a pinch of sea salt, or even a hint of espresso powder. Another optional ingredient is a teaspoon of lemon juice. Lemon juice can help to prevent the sugar from crystallizing and adds a subtle brightness to the caramel. Add it at the beginning along with the water. The acidity of the lemon juice helps to break down the sugar molecules, resulting in a smoother caramel. If you don't have lemon juice on hand, a teaspoon of light corn syrup can also be used to achieve a similar effect. Once you have all your ingredients ready, you're set to start making your caramel sauce. Remember, the key to perfect caramel is patience and attention to detail. Keep a close eye on the sugar as it melts and caramelizes, and be prepared to act quickly when adding the cream and butter. With practice, you'll be able to create a delicious caramel sauce that can be used in a variety of desserts, from drizzling over ice cream to adding a sweet touch to your morning coffee. Enjoy the process and the delightful results. Grab a medium-sized saucepan. A heavy-bottomed one is best as it heats more evenly. Place it on the hob over medium heat. Add the sugar and water to the pan. Make sure the sugar is spread out evenly in the pan. Now the magic starts. As the sugar and water heat up, the sugar will dissolve and start to bubble. This is the beginning of the caramelization process. Don't stir the mixture. The sugar will melt and caramelize on its own. Just let it do its thing. Keep a close eye on the pan. Caramelizing sugar is a delicate process that requires your full attention. The transformation from sugar to caramel happens quickly, and if you look away even for a moment, you might miss the perfect stage. Start by heating your pan over medium heat and add your sugar and water mixture. Stir gently to ensure the sugar dissolves evenly. The mixture will start to change color, going from clear to a light amber. This is the first sign that the caramelization process is underway. As the sugar melts and begins to caramelize, you'll notice the mixture bubbling and the color gradually shifting. This is a critical phase, so keep stirring gently and consistently. You want to cook the caramel until it reaches a rich amber color, like maple syrup. This rich amber hue indicates that the sugar has caramelized perfectly, offering a deep, complex flavor. The aroma will also change, becoming more intense and slightly nutty. At this stage, you can add a touch of butter or cream to enrich the caramel, but be cautious as it will bubble vigorously. This usually takes about 5 to 7 minutes, but it can vary depending on your hob. Different stoves have different heat outputs, so it's essential to adjust the heat as needed. If the caramel is darkening too quickly, lower the heat slightly. Conversely, if it's taking too long, you might need to increase the heat a bit. Patience and attentiveness are key. Be careful not to overcook the caramel, as it can burn quickly. Burnt caramel has a bitter taste and can ruin your dish. If you notice the caramel turning too dark or smelling burnt, it's best to start over. Always have a bowl of ice water nearby to stop the cooking process immediately if needed. Remember, practice makes perfect, and with time, you'll master the art of achieving the perfect caramel color. Once the caramel reaches your desired color, it's time to add the butter and cream. Turn the heat down to low. Carefully pour in the heavy cream. Be careful, as the mixture will bubble up rapidly when the cream is added. Add the butter. The mixture will seem lumpy at first, but don't worry. Stir the mixture constantly with a wooden spoon or a heat-proof spatula until the butter is melted and the caramel is smooth. Make sure to scrape the bottom of the pan to incorporate any caramelized bits. These bits add a delicious depth of flavor. The sauce will thicken as it cooks. If you like, you can add a teaspoon of vanilla extract to the caramel sauce for extra flavor. Vanilla enhances the caramel's richness and adds a warm note. Just stir it in along with the butter and cream. You can experiment with other extracts too, like almond or hazelnut. Let the caramel sauce simmer for a minute or two over low heat, stirring constantly. This will allow the sauce to thicken slightly. The longer you simmer, the thicker the caramel will become. Keep a close eye on it to make sure it doesn't burn. Remove the pan from the heat and let the caramel sauce cool for at least 15 minutes before using or storing. As it cools, the caramel will thicken even further. You can store any leftover caramel sauce in an airtight container in the fridge for up to 2 weeks. It's that simple. Why go through all this trouble when you can buy caramel sauce in a jar? It's convenient, quick, and readily available at any grocery store. You just pick it up, pay for it, and you're good to go. No mess, no fuss, and no waiting. But is convenience always the best choice when it comes to food? Because nothing beats the taste of homemade caramel. When you make it yourself, you can ensure that every ingredient is fresh and of the highest quality. The process of making caramel at home allows you to create a flavor profile that is uniquely yours, tailored to your personal taste preferences. It's richer, smoother, and far more satisfying. The texture of homemade caramel is unparalleled, with a velvety smoothness that you just can't get from a store-bought jar. Drizzling it over your favorite desserts, like ice cream or brownies, elevates them to a whole new level of deliciousness. Plus, you can control the ingredients and sweetness level. Want it a bit less sweet? No problem. Prefer a hint of sea salt for that perfect balance of flavors? You got it. Making caramel at home gives you the freedom to experiment and adjust the recipe to suit your dietary needs and taste buds. So go on, give this easy recipe a try and impress your friends and family with your culinary skills. There's something incredibly rewarding about serving a dish that you've made from scratch. The smiles and compliments you'll receive are worth every minute spent in the kitchen. Plus, you'll have the satisfaction of knowing exactly what went into your delicious creation. So, roll up your sleeves, gather your ingredients, and start making your own homemade caramel sauce today.